to LOA Today. I'm Walt Thiessen.
With me today is abundance teacher and money coach, Jody Lynn Craven.
This is your daily dose of happy. We are so happy you decided to join us today. And happy Wednesday, no matter what day of the week it is that you're listening to this. We're making this on Wednesday, so happy Wednesday, because that's the day we're on. That's the way it is. That's the way it works in this world. But happy Wednesday. And Jody Lynn, we were just chatting before we got going, and you mentioned something to me that I just had to bring up because I thought it was really, well, it was wonderful, because I asked you how you were doing, and you said you're doing wonderful. And not only did you say you were doing wonderful, you said wonderful. I mean, I could just feel the energy of it.
Yeah. Well,
I hear that. Listen to the way she says that. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Life is good.
Yeah. I'm just in a place of great surrender to what is. And that's wonderful.
Yeah, it really is. I love that. So thank you for bringing the enthusiasm that kind of gets the energy level up just to start the whole show today. It's fabulous.
You're welcome.
Ooh,
That's what I'm here for.
Well, you're here for a lot more than that, but you do contribute that part too, so that's good.
Thank you.
We do have a guest joining us today, and let's see if I can do this. Her name is Inesa Ponomariovaite. I hope I got that right. And she is the CEO of Nesa's Hemp. We're going to learn a lot about CBD, CBDA oil, and so forth today. Things that I know. I don't know a lot about. I know a little bit. I don't know what you know, Jody Lynn. But we're gonna learn a bunch there, and I think what's also going to be kind of fun is we're going to learn how that ties into health, because that's kind of a relatively recent idea, the idea that hemp-based products can actually contribute to human health. So, Inesa, first of all, welcome to the program. How are you doing today?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you so much for asking.
Okay, so there we go. Now we got wonderful and amazing. I mean, this is a great start. I like this.
Yes.
Absolutely. No, thank you so much for having me here today. I'm so happy to be here and just contribute the knowledge and empower this world for the best. So make sure our brothers and sisters can stay happy, healthy, and wealthy.
All right. I like the combination. So bring us up to speed on how you became the CEO of Nesa's Hemp. What's the story behind that?
The painful one.
It usually is, actually, but that's okay.
Yeah, very painful one. It definitely wasn't my choice. I was asking him, and God, I said, please don't push me to do that. I don't want to start a CBD company. And it's no way in the world. And end of the day, I end up doing it what I'm doing it. So no, as a holistic health coach, someone who truly helps to transform people's lives for the best, and really prove the fact that all disease are truly have solution without doing pharmaceutical drugs, and a lot of times they cause a lot of side effects. So I truly believe in the natural medicine, not because somebody made me to believe. It's just because I worked with thousands of people right now across the world, including stage 4 cancers, and I've seen it over and over and over. So evidence are so loud and clear that the holistic medicine and the medicine that I personally practice, I truly believe, and I see the evidence. But there's a little but. Anything we touch or consume, we have to really be aware of the quality. And there is no regulations, especially in the CBD industry. There is zero regulations to even how to label the bottles or what's the truth and what's good or bad. So with that being said, someone who's truly responsible to help people and bring that health to someone's life, I have also responsibility to know what's in these products, because if I promote something or if I want to believe in a brand, I have to know what's in it. So, and that's exactly what happened. I just investigated the whole industry. I am really bad guy for the cannabis industry, and I'm a good guy for the people that trying to improve their health. So with that being said, as I said, like, depends. Somebody will see this face and it's like, oh my gosh, she's been in my facility and she just flipped the whole building upside down because she was looking for the truth. And that's the whole point, is look for the truth. And the truth is, there's no regulations. And when I find out most products are mismarket, most products are even contain very dangerous levels of mold, mercury, toxins, herbicides, pesticides, like all kinds of dangerous things, why you're sick in the first place. That was like major urgency for me. It's almost like alarming event, what I'm gonna do about this. And I said, it can be, maybe I just got a bad luck with those 5 to 7 companies. Let's try another 10. So you pick another 10, the best ones marketed in the country, and you visit them, and you said, I don't want to trust you, let me do my own personal lab testing. We're not going to pay for it, it's okay, I'll pay for it. I'll pay for the lab testing, just let me test your products personally so I know what's in it. And when you discover what's in it again, it's devastating. So there's a lot of danger going on. And when I saw this very uh, untruthful situation in a global scale, I figured something must be wrong with me, because it can't be everybody wrong. So I decided to call 2 world experts. One is in Israel. He's the one who discovered the most beautiful thing in the human history, which is our own endocannabinoid system. Can't wait to talk about that part.
Okay.
So own endocannabinoid system, and he's the one who was actually Nobel Prize winner for that. So he's like a father cannabis who knows everything about cannabis, or every science. He's the one who discovered this whole thing. So what happened is I decided to call him, and of course he's a professor. He just actually passed away in his 90s. And I said, the whole world is starving to talk to him for a minute. He's probably not going to talk to me, but I'm still going to call him until he's going to answer. So yeah, it took me 3 months to get him on a call, but I did get him on a call. And I said, Dr. Mashulam, are you aware of the industry? Are you aware of the danger that is happening? Are you aware that CBD is literally a drug, a patented drug, pharmaceutical, that's not even coming from the plant? It's coming from the plant, but it's literally a pharmaceutical drug. There is no CBD in the raw plant. And he clearly says, I'm fully aware of miscommunication, misguidance. And he said, is nothing I can do. I said, do you know any company who's willing to do what's right, so I can at least purchase their products, empower people's endocannabinoid system? And he told me, good luck, young woman. If you ever find a company, like, I'll be very happy to talk to them. And, because I was looking for CBDAs, and nobody even knew that time what's the difference. So, and then I said, if the world's leaders, I'm challenging him, he doesn't want to help me, he doesn't know how to help me. I said, maybe he doesn't know everything, because I'm from United States, maybe he's more like towards Israel or Europe. And I said, let me find the best one in United States. Who is the best in America? So I found a beautiful doctor from Harvard. He was that time representing a huge company, actually, not going to say the name. It's one of the largest companies in America for CBD. And I wanted to talk to him. He didn't want to talk to me. And I said, I have a lot of questions. I don't trust industry. This is my reasons why. I gave him thousands of reasons. And he said, I don't know where you're calling me from, but he kind of hung up on me. And he said, have a good and I was like, wait a minute, you just hang up on me? Like that's not gonna happen. Like, I need my answer.
I sense a little determination here, Jody Lynn. What do you think?
Yeah, and resourcefulness.
And persistence.
So I was like literally playing a spy on him, and I said, let me figure out his roadmap, where he's gonna be in the next month or two. And I just found out that he's doing one of those panels in California. And I said, let me fly in California so I can really push him in a corner and say, I need to talk to you. And that's exactly what happened. I flew, and he finished his panel, and and I said, do you remember me? He's like, no, I don't. I said, you hung up on me, you should. And now I do. Oh, I said, you can't run away from me. This hotel is big, but I'm gonna find you. So
you can run, but you cannot hide.
exactly. So we ended up sitting in the lobby for like 4 hours, and the most beautiful thing was, for me, it was sad but beautiful at the same time, that he said, you're extremely ambitious. I understand you're trying to do what's the best for humanity and people, but like, if you will decide to take this route, you're going to be in so much pain where the blood is going to be dripping. And I'm like, why I'm going to be in pain? Because he said it's not easy to do what's right, especially when you're going against the whole industry and the whole messaging, because the way the message is shipped and delivered to the mainstream people. And I said, but do you think it's possible to make it happen? Because I believe everything is possible, And he said, of course it's possible. And especially when you really have a good intention, but it's going to be painful. I said, just tell me if the idea that I have, that every single compound in the chemistry from original hemp plant, not re-engineered, not matrix created one in the lab, the real one, the God's version, do you think that's what we should be carrying in the final bottle, like as a product? He said, absolutely yes. And I promote this idea. I said, do you believe the products loaded with dangers and mold and toxins are good for us? Like, no, those are the ones that are killing us. I said, okay, perfect. I said, so you agree with everything I want to do or want to say. You're just saying it's going to be very painful. And you basically wish me good luck, go figure it out. He's like, yeah. I said, I got it. So that was a beautiful moment. But to be honest with you, it was two world leaders said, good luck. We will remember you, we'll bless you, we'll pray for you. But this is it. Like, there's nothing we can do. Like, because you're going to go one. You're going to be the one against the mainstream. And I came back home. I cried for 2 days because I knew the essentials. I knew, you see, today it's illegal for me to go on mainstream media and educate you. I can educate you about your liver. I can educate your organs like kidneys. I can educate you about your receptors in your tongue, in your mouth, but I cannot educate you about your endocannabinoid system. And it's in each of us. So because they know, if people knew the essentials of endocannabinoid system, half of this country would be off the pills within the next 90 days.
I've never even heard of this abracadabra system you're talking about. I don't know what, you're gonna have to spell it for me because I'm lost. Like, well, how did I miss this in biology class in high school?
There's none. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. There's no in biology classes, and I'm not even allowed to push this topic. And this is not I discovered. This is 40 years ago we discovered it. There's not single one scientist or genius on this planet was able to come and deny the fact that you have this called endocannabinoid system that is the most essential receptors or organ, whatever you call it, in your body to keep you healthy. It's illegal.
And I got a question here because I'm really curious to know who is it or what's the organization that prohibits you from talking about this?
It's federally illegal for me to go on mainstream media and talk about any receptors in actually working together with CBD and triggering on what's the benefit from it. I cannot do that. It's federally
which aspect of the federal government? I mean, are we talking about the National Institutes for Health? Where is it coming from?
And I don't, you please tell me, because I talked to all my PR directors and they said every media channel doesn't want to talk to you. I said, why? Why did you want to talk to me? We have a critical message to share in this crisis at the moment. And why they don't want to talk is because they never going to cover any kind of type of any CBD or endocannabinoid topic, period.
Okay, well, that's really interesting all by itself. I'm still kind of curious to know. I'll have to do a little digging to find that one out. Maybe it's just tied to. I mean, there are longstanding. I won't call them prohibitions. I'll call them taboos against discussing anything having to do with something even remotely connected to marijuana in this country, because there's this, there's a psychology that's been going on for generations. Maybe that's where that's coming from. But if there's a particular government entity that's doing it, I'm really curious. I want to find out who that is. So I'm going to try to dig into that.
Well, I think too that media is biased.
Sure.
Things. And so if they, the big pharma has lobbied media in some way that you can't go down this road, it would make sense why you can't talk about it.
It's probably just a fear-driven thing. There may not actually be a regulation. It may be more like a conspiracy of silence kind of a thing. That would make sense. I can see that happening.
No, it's literally federally legal. It's still in some states federally legal to ship CBD products. It's literally federally legal.
Yes, I know that is. Yes, that is true. Yeah, I do know that because it has not been legalized.
it's funny. Like one time I was carrying raw materials for like testing purposes, and he found like bunch hemp on me, and there's no THC, it's literally hemp because there's multiple definitions of hemp, and they couldn't say anything. It's like, we don't like you to carry that because we don't want you to. So because you're gonna go on the sky, which is a federal entity, and you can't go on the sky. Even I'm physically standing in the state that is legal, but the sky is a federal space, so you can't go on the plane in the sky in a federal space from legal state to another legal state just to cross to the federal air. Like, it's just so much stuff like that. No, it's a fact. Please double, triple check. If you're gonna find a way for me to share this matches that I've been trying for the 5 years now, you're gonna be my best friend. I will move next to you, and I'll do anything you ask me to, because I just want to help people, and it's just so hard. It's just not single.
Well, I can give you a clue that will help. I can give you two clues, actually. The first clue I can give you is I don't know of any particular regulations other than, like, you're right, CBD and marijuana in general are illegal in a large number of states here in the U.S. So that could be part of what's going on here. But in terms of talking about it, we have a wonderful thing called the First Amendment, and that goes a long way. So I'm not saying that it's impossible for there to be a regulation that prevents people from talking about it. I'm just saying that's going to be a hard one to sell in a court of law just because of that First Amendment. So that probably becomes a way out. The other thing I want to pass to you, I'm sure you already know about them, is the lobbying organization NORML, who are very much involved in trying to legalize marijuana. If I were you, I would definitely get in touch with them, tell them what you're trying to do, why you're trying to do it, and I'll bet you they'll give you a whole bunch of help to kind of break through some of these glass ceilings you're running into.
I will contact you afterwards.
Yes. Also, another option is Canada, the little brother, sister to the north.
Yeah, it's so hard. We can't even ship packages there.
Oh.
People. We have to do abracadabra tricks in order to pass one package. It's very complicated.
Wow. Well, you could start talking about the message and get enough people on board. And
I've been rejected. And again, I have the number one PR directors in the country, and are literally worked in mainstream media their entire lives. And they said, Inesa, attorneys don't want to take it. Attorneys don't want to deal with this. Yeah. Attorneys don't want to do it. Like, attorneys not going to take this case. It's just too much legalities. We can't do that.
Wow. Oh my goodness. That's insane. So let's go back to the
endocannabinoid system.
Yes. What is that?
So it's like a little receptors, and so basically we're born, and when we're born, it's called endocannabinoid system. So when you're like a little kid, just a brand new baby, you produce your own cannabinoids in your own body. And those cannabinoids, they're actually almost the same as we sell them in the bottles, except this is in a plant version. We have in a human, right? They're a little bit different. So when we have these cannabinoids in our body, so we produce them. And the whole endocannabinoid system is responsible to regulate all other systems in the body, including your brain, your spleen, your liver, your ovaries, your kidneys, your gut, like literally your everything. Your prostate. Isn't that amazing? Your central nervous system. Oh my gosh, the whole country is right now with probably major issues on central nervous system. And all what you need to do, empower yourself with cannabinoids, your own endocannabinoid system, and your whole central nervous system is regulated within 15 minutes. Zero side effects.
Wow.
So we produce these cannabinoids in our own body as we born.
Wow. And then does our body stop producing this stuff, or what happens?
When we're exposed to toxins, stress, just like they call aging, I call too much of toxicity in your environment, in your food, in your water. That's the moment where you start losing the production. And that's the moment where you need to kind of start filling yourself with more fuel in the body and to empower your endocannabinoid system so you can regulate the whole body again and just keep yourself healthy. So he's so curious. He's checking online for me.
I was looking it up because I was not familiar with cannabinoids, and it's really, I mean, the little bit that I'm looking at so far, it's fascinating stuff. I can see why you're interested.
Yeah, you're gonna have to tell me how to spell that later because I'm gonna do some Googling too. I know, Inesa, that I'm in Canada, so I wouldn't probably be able to get your product, but maybe there's a coalition that, get rolling.
There's always, if there's the will, there's the way, you
That's right.
know. But we just have to be very careful of the way we do things, and it's just not easy. Let's just put it. Anything I do, that's why, to answer your question, never wanted to start this company. I wasn't planning to. I said, God, why me? And because I needed empower people's endocannabinoid system so I can keep them healthy, I was looking for the healthy product. I couldn't find one, and I just developed my own that today is absolutely, absolutely standing out, and science and evidence is proving itself.
Which is very exciting. What was the situation that led you to investigate all this in the first place?
So there is no regulations because it's federally illegal again. There's no regulations. That means you can pour whatever you want to pour in this bottle and call it.
No, but I mean, what caused you to look into endocannabinoids in the first place? Why even look at the topic is what I'm wondering about. What brought you into CBD?
Cancer. My mother's cancer.
Ah.
Yeah, because when I was looking for the answers for my mom's cancer, I traveled the world for that. And I had to learn a lot about biology that they don't teach you in the medical schools. And the cannabinoid system is one of those. Yeah, that's what led me, is my mother's cancer. And she was given 6 months to live. 4 months later, she was cancer free. And no chemo, no radiation. And her, yeah, absolutely. She's still alive, happy, thriving. I just saw her post on social media today singing in the car. I said, don't drive and sing and take the
Be careful.
It's literally, you wouldn't believe what this woman is doing. I'm just it's like unbelievable. She's so much enjoying in life. We're just like new days. Every day is the best day ever. She in winter, she literally jumps in the snow with the bathing suit. It's like, oh my gosh, it's cold. Then she goes in the hot
water. Oh my goodness. Is she a member of the Polar Bear Club, one of those people who dives into icy waters and all that kind of thing?
Yep, you got this.
She does that too? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So she's one of the crazy people, in other words.
It's really good for a lymphatic system that also didn't teach in medical school.
Ah, okay, fair enough. Fair point.
The whole lymphatic system is just so crucial and essential for your body in order to really function. So most people don't even do little jumps in the morning to flush that out. So, but when you jump in that freezing water, you flush the lymphatic system pretty quickly and actually empower your heart, and to give a lot of strength to your heart.
I would think you'd flush a lot of things, but yeah, I get your point. I mean, that's
no wonder why it's called this happy hour. I see what's going on here now.
Yeah, we like to have a lot of fun here. There's no doubt about that.
I see that.
Well, it's one of the reasons why we've had so many guests on talking about different ways of handling cancer, and almost all of them in one way or another involve mindset. I mean, you've had to deal with mindset from a completely different viewpoint from what most people do when they're exploring this kind of thing, because you've had to adopt the mindset, wow, I have to find this information despite the fact that the world seems to be trying to preventing me from accomplishing that goal. So that's a really tough mindset to have to adopt. And yet, nevertheless, that's a mindset that I'm sure is already paying off for you, because just from your story is all about massive persistence. I'm going to get this answer no matter what. I'm going to fly to California and corner you after your appearance on the podium if I have to do that. That's the level of persistence that we're talking about here. Well, that comes from that mindset. That mindset is leading you to producing these, what are going to be seen as amazing results. It
is definitely a mindset. Sometimes when people say no to me, it just happens very sometimes. But if that happens, I look at their face and I smile, and I said, in my mind, I literally tell them, I can't wait for that moment where you're going to come back to me and ask me to whatever the situation is. Yeah, I'm beyond persistent. Like, so it goes back to the mindset. If people say, "What is the advice you can give it to me?" I in fact, I just had one of basketball players call me on the way to my office. He's like, "My mindset is getting off. I don't know what's going on. The one other teams are pushing me to play another team, and I forgot which team he's playing now because again, there's a lot of athletes I work with,
Mhm.
including the UFC. So he's asking me, he's literally calling me on the mindset, like, because he's like, Inesa, you always put me back on track where I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to win my game. I'm ready to be in charge of my own life and tell my grandma that I'm not going to be a shoemaker.
A shoemaker. Yeah. Well, yeah. Basketball player, shoemaker. This is a major transition we'd be talking about there. So I get that. Yeah.
Some people have different views and they wish to see us in different
That's
ways.
it.
So
Yeah.
mindset is a big thing, and I tell people all the time. And also another thing, what I really noticed, not even noticed, as part of my life, as part of my protocols, you can't help overcome disease, no matter how beautiful and strong a protocol you have, unless you work on that person's mindset. Like, you can't, or also
Totally.
you can't work on the mindset without working on all the toxins in the body. You literally have to work on both of them at the same time. It's just, otherwise it's not sustainable.
Yeah. Makes total sense to me. Total sense. I totally agree and am on board with that thought. So, all right. So you're basically tilting at windmills and you're actually getting the windmills to turn, which is really quite remarkable. But tell us the story about, you launched this product this against all odds. I'm not even sure how you put the product together. Who even built this thing for you? I mean, did you invent the whole thing in your kitchen? How did that work?
Yes and no. First of all, I really wanted to build the product that I was missing and that both doctors agree that is missing on the market. So I truly believe that nature, God knows the best. So whatever the chemistry they created to create the tree, leaves, soil, I believe that's perfect chemistry if we don't touch it. From the moment we start messing around, re-engineer, that's the moment where it changes the chemistry, and that's the Frankenstein comes out as a second version of whatever you're trying to achieve. So my goal was how even Jesus, when he was using canna, when he refers to canna in the Bible, like, I wanted to know, is he was extracting CBD with ethanol, solvents, gases, putting some mold in it, metals? Do you think the soil held all these metals? So I was literally thinking how we had 2000 years ago, like what exactly soil we had, how I can have healthy plant and a healthy soil, because it's just like growing the child. You can have twin kids that have been delivered by one same mother, but if the one kid is actually goes to one home where there's a lot of abuse and a lot of negative stuff and teaching you bad things, and the other kid is going where morals and values, both twins going to be completely two different children. Like, they're two different human beings. They came from the same mom. So it's the way you're raising the kid. In the plant world, they also don't teach you that in medical school, which is fine. That's why I went to my own school. So
I love that. I love that.
so what I learned, that these microbes nurture these roots and seeds. It's like a seed in the mother's womb to express the plant, and allows the plant to express themselves in the highest power. So if you grow the plant for medicinal purposes, you better express this plant in the best ways possible, because we have all these medicinal properties in there and we want them to be fully expressed. So if the plant is growing in unhealthy home, and which is unhealthy soil full of toxins, the plant is barely functioning before you even harvest, or even before you even extract or do anything. So the soil was the essential thing. And what I did, that was again persistence. I was thinking, how in the world I'm going to come up with the soil? And there's literally, I need to find a great farmer that is willing to do. So I started studying the soil and what the microbes we have, what changed the microbes, where is the oldest microbes in the world, what they look like today. I started connecting with all these universities. So long story short is I said, okay, we need to really go back to original soil. How am I going to do that? Who's going to agree? And I started having basics, what I need. So I just picked my script, and the script was very simple. I came to I got the list of organic farmers, and I just knocked the doors, and I say, my name is Inesa. I'm willing. I want to create a product, but I want to grow in the healthy soil. I said, we're going to create the best soil, and I have the tools. I know how to make it happen. First couple of years, we're going to make no money, but we're going to develop the best soil, the best product on the market. It's like, are you willing to do it? No, I got to feed my family. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I was like, I got to feed my family too, but I want to do what's the best for the people at the same time. So I literally visited a lot of farmers, and I met this one crazy farmer like myself. And, and he was just amazing. I said, listen, we're going to make no money. We're going to develop the best soil. I said, but we're going to do what's the best for people. And guess what? He says, absolutely yes. As long as what we're doing is the best for people, I'm going to be into this game, and forget about money. Money comes and goes. It's just a paper. I said, I got this. So that's it. Then we kind of put the forces together. It took me a couple of years to put the soil together. So, and then after a couple of years, we're able to harvest the first most beautiful girls in the world, and of course created extraction processes that were able to keep the same chemistry, not to dilute or change the chemistry from original plants. And we got to the CBDA, God's original version, not CBD. CBD is a drug.
And let's define precisely what is CBDA. I mean, what makes CBDA CBDA?
So first of all, this is going to be very eye-opening for a lot of people right now. When first of all, we had this hemp plant for millions of years, since humans been here. Like, we literally have this forever. So it's not a new thing where they're trying to approach, we have we have this hemp or cannabis going on. No, it's just saying, we have a soil forever. That's how we have a hemp forever. So what happened is we had one version of the hemp plant for the millions of years. But in the last 100 years, and especially in the last 30, 40 years, what happened is they took original genetics of the plant and they re-engineered and created these Frankensteins in the laboratories with crazy levels of THC. I'm so against THC. I tell people I never smoke, never going to, and if you do it, I feel bad for you. I thought you were selling pot. No, I'm not. I'm selling God's version, empower you and the cannabinoid system. You feel the strongest, most beautiful, and healthy and smart. So what happened is they removed that original version. Yes, I was able to trace it back. I got my seeds and my genetics on the perfect track. I'm good to go. But the whole country itself is really growing these plants on very mutated version, and it was done by design, not by accident. Their scientists are sitting in the lab and engineering genetics all day long. So that's what they did. So in original plant, there's no THC and there's no CBD. So this is what's going on. The whole industry itself, it's called cannabis industry. Doesn't matter what you sell, pot, CBD, hemp, anything. It's called cannabis industry. Now you have two legs. One goes to the hemp field and one goes to the cannabis field. The hemp field is actually known for high levels of CBD, which is not psychoactive, and very low levels of THC, which is psychoactive. That means CBD is kind of a safe zone. It's getting regulated right now. So they think CBD is good for you. And I'll tell you in a minute what's going on here, the big secret, why they don't want you to know about it. So the other leg is completely cannabis. And what the cannabis, between hemp and cannabis, there's only one difference, that the cannabis contains very high levels of THC. And keep in mind, those levels never came naturally. So those are re-engineered levels. So don't tell me that God gave us this pot to get high. That's not true. He never gave us this pot to get high. Okay. So what happened is, now this is another trick that they don't want you to know, is if you take the raw plant and study the chemistry in the raw plant, there is no CBD and there's no THC. there's only CBDA and THCA. The difference is that in order to transfer and convert CBDA, which is right here is the CBDA, God's given version, you can't patent, you can't own it, belongs to people, nature, and God. So this version, in order to turn into CBD, you have to use extraction processes, heat, measure heat temperatures, kill the plant, gases, and all kinds of other things. Now you're converting CBDA into the CBD. Now CBD is fully patented as of today as a drug for epilepsy by Food and Drug Administration. That means CBD is fully controlled market, except they don't tell you that yet. That's why they don't want you to know about CBDA, because this is not controlled substance and never can be, just like apple, oranges, and spinaches, because it comes from nature and does miracles job to your body. So now if you're putting this next to the apples and spinaches and be allowing people to consume this as a superfood, half of the country is going to be off the pills. That means we're going to drop America's GPA. Like, we're dropping numbers. We're losing money because no one is sick.
Yeah, that would be a real terrible thing.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
We like to have fun here. We just love to have fun.
But that's the difference. It's the God's version, and that's, I'm promoting only God's version, and that's the pharmaceutical version as a drug for epilepsy. It's called Epidiolex. So CBD is a drug, and CBDA is not.
How interesting that the one that comes originally from nature has the A at the end.
Because it's acidic. Yeah, it's the acidic cannabinoid, so that's why it says the A, and it's acidic.
Okay, I have a question. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but you said that the plants, the THC plants, the CBD plants, so that would be like hemp, I think. Like, one's a pot plant, one's a hemp plant. I don't know anything about this stuff. I'm just figuring it out. Both of those are genetically engineered plants, and then they continue to modify and, superheat and do all of these things to either side of those plants to make a patented substance on both sides. Yeah. Neither one is natural.
Yeah.
And for people who aren't watching the video, which is 99% of the audience, Jody just gave the universal sign for "my mind is blown."
Well, my mind is blown. I thought pot was a plant that came from nature. I didn't know.
Okay, so it's the same thing. I'll give you an example, it's a really current world example right now. They're taking a stem cells from human and putting in these incubators, and they're creating babies, and the baby has never been in a mom's womb. They're literally creating a robot half baby kind of type of thing in the fake laboratory. That baby is going to be born in a machine. So it's happening right now. This is like not a new thing. It's literally rolling all over the country. In Japan, it's already happening. They have those baby beds. Like, I think the first baby robots they're releasing in 170 or whatever I saw in Japan or somewhere in Europe. So I knew it's coming a long time ago, but this is really happening right now. So it's the same thing. We had original plant. We took it and we decided to change all kinds of things about this plant, planted in this dirty, full of toxin soil, and put it on the market. The only one difference today is the market is still not controlled, because pharmaceutical companies, they know they own CBD compounds because it's clearly theirs. If you go on Smart Google is going to tell you that it says CBD is a drug for epilepsy. So they're allowing these business owners to promote idea of CBD. So they're like a little marketers, they're like marketing the CBD idea. And from the moment market is big enough to say, wait a minute, we have a cure. By the way, we have a solution for you guys. And they're going to start pulling and suing the CBD companies, which is they already started this year. I think they targeted over 20 CBD companies, and say, stop selling our chemistry, our CBD compound. You see what I'm saying? Because it is theirs. By the law, it does belong to pharmaceuticals. So it's not natural. So the natural version is the CBDA, and it has to come from the right genetics, which is very hard. I'm not going to lie. It is hard. And, that's when going back to the same answer. Why did you start it? I don't know. Because I want to bring the justice, and nobody was doing what's right.
Now you've kind of cued something in my mind, and I want to bring it out here. You may not know the answer to this, and if that's true, it's okay. But you mentioned that it's patented, and I know enough about patent law to know that patents aren't forever. They have a time limit on them. Typically, I believe it's 30 years. For certain products, it can be less than that. Do you have any idea when CBD was first patented?
No, but I assume it probably right after Dr. Meshulam, when he discovered 35 years ago CBD. There's a CBDA, actually CBD compound, and we have endocannabinoid system that actually all connect together, the one and the same thing, kind of type of thing. So I believe, because pharmaceuticals is always on the top of the game on those kind of type of news. So I assume they probably did right a couple of years after, because they always literally on the top on a game on any kind of type of new discovery, and they immediately jumping to figure out the ways to patent things.
My guess is that what they're probably doing is kind of similar to what happens in the software industry. Every time that Microsoft, for instance, issues a new version of Microsoft Windows, the copyright gets attacked. Well, first of all, they figured out how to do it with copyright, which gives them longer time spans. But secondly, they know that if they put out version, I don't even know what we're on now, 11.2 or whatever it is. If they put out version 11.2 to replace version 11.1, that's a new creation all over again. So you have a brand new copyright span starting from the moment that they release that. And so they're constantly issuing new variations on it to just keep the thing going on forever. I imagine the CBD people are probably doing the same thing with CBD. They make little tiny variations to it. It becomes a new, quote, new version of CBD. And then they patent that and they get another 24, 30 years, whatever.
Or genetics. When I go to these, I used to go, I don't even go there right now. You can't even pay me to go there. So like I used to go to those expos and stuff, and like all these CBD owners are there, and they're like, come here, we have the most beautiful patented genetics. We have that much of XYZ. It's almost saying, come here, I have the most beautiful European, blackish, white Asian baby genetics, 10% from here, and we just re-engineered the baby in the machine, and here's your baby, is going to be done in 9 months. You just come to pick it up from the lab. That's exactly how they sound. And I'm like, what are we talking about here? So that's when you go to these expos, that's exactly what they do in these shows. They literally they're so proud of their patents. And I'm like, why? Why are you so proud to engineer the nature, trying to tell me you're smarter than nature? Yes, I love science because I like to understand how things work. But can we just don't touch it? Can we just let them be and figure out why lion is attacking the smaller animal instead of the bigger animal? Why we want to change the mindset of the lion? Let's just let it be, So I'm all pro the nature and the way God developed us, and try to understand why we are the way we are, instead of trying to change it and recreate it and patent it and own it and control the world.
Yeah, I get that. It's coming through loud and clear. I don't know about you, Jody Lynn, but to me, that's like, it's very clear.
Definitely. And I'm down for it.
And you're down for it too. Well,
yeah, I agree wholeheartedly.
Inesa, you may not realize it, but Jody Lynn and her husband own a farm in Canada. So, she also has that side of it to appreciate from as well.
So she knows the situation with soil. She knows how the chemtrails land with this smart nanodust, destroys the soil, changes chemistry of on the microbe level. It's insanity what's going on. Just to figure out how to deactivate the chemtrails, that was a project itself. I said, I will need to turn myself into Nikola Tesla.
I wouldn't be surprised if you pull that one off either.
No, I'm not that close. I definitely love the guy. When people say, who's your number one famous person you so admired, is definitely Nikola Tesla, but sadly he's not here anymore. But I read all his books and all his findings, and I'm super interested in all his work he done. He's absolutely amazing.
Truly amazing, no doubt about that. Yeah. So, all right. So you've gone through all of this in order to get your product out there. Now the only thing that's left is to find out, how has it been received?
You mean in the world, or like
Yeah, among your customers, I should say.
results speaks louder than words. That's it. It's like I can tell about my project all day long today, but end of the day, when you take the full dropper at night and half in the morning, if you don't feel like you feeling better, you're happier, your body's in balance, you have no pains, you sleep better, you finally rested, like I can't tell you anything about it. It's just you experiencing results for yourself. And the good news, we never had one single person by not experiencing results, not single one. If somebody ever, we as a company, we've been around for over 5 years now, something like that. I think I'm losing time track. I am, because I have multiple companies, so I lose time track sometimes. But we about around 5 years, so sometimes we change credit card processing, and as you know, like credit card processors want to see how risky of your account is, so they check your back charges, how many customers back charge you in a year, in a month. So with CBD, they always put you in extremely high risk, because people back charging these products all day long, say this is not for me, I don't like it, doesn't work. In 5 years, we have zero back
No
charges.
chargebacks. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Yeah, because chargebacks are fairly common, actually, not just
No,
in your industry, but across
not
the board in
single
all
one.
industries.
I was even planning to take an interview of the guy. I said, please, because nobody's gonna believe me, and I don't want everybody to show my financial statements. I said,
Yeah.
as someone who represents the company, say, because it's like I never seen the company. It's like, give me a real statement. So I said, this is the real statement. What do you want from me? Oh,
Jody
yeah.
Lynn, have you ever heard of a product that had no chargebacks?
No, especially after 5 years. Like,
Yeah,
whoops, I accidentally put the wrong credit card in, or like
something.
something. But
Yeah.
5 years, that's absolutely incredible. I'd love to hear more about like some of the results that your clients have been seeing too. Like, what are like the top 5 things that people, I guess, notice? You said sleep and whatever, but like, can this help with like kidney disease and, I don't know,
Mm.
diabetes or like those kinds of things?
I personally am not allowed to make any statements, strong statements here, and I'm not gonna be a doctor diagnosing and telling, but I just can tell you what I personally see when people use the product and what they say when they come to me and call me, oh my gosh, my life changed. So we've seen everything. We've seen people improving the gut. We've seen people improving moods, depressions. I got off all my friends around me off the medications when it comes to antidepressants, including my housekeeper. She's been off the pill for like 4 years now, and she's been on the pills for 10 years prior she started this. We had situations where we saved dogs. I mean, I didn't
Mm.
even know. I had situations where, and also there's a sign saying finally they're picking up on CBDA right now. So they're saying how helpful it is towards cancer, science saying how helpful it is towards inflammation. I also see a lot of inflammation. It's literally like works like miracle in seconds. Inflammation is probably one of the biggest. Central nervous system, it's one of the biggest. And again, I seen some random things where women couldn't get pregnant, and she called me. She's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm pregnant. Just don't tell anybody. I'm telling you because I think this is your product." I said, well, "It's like, do you think your product could cause this?" Like, I tried for 9 years to get pregnant and couldn't. And I'm like, now I've
Wow.
been on your product for 2 months and I'm finally pregnant. And yeah, so it's really depends, because it goes in your body and scans every single thing that kind of is missing and kind of fulfills you specifically. So for example, I might have a hair growth issue, so it would help me with that, and you might have a other situation going on in the body. Again, I'm not a doctor, thank God, and I'm
I love the way you said that too.
no, I am, because sometimes with the doctor, I have a great friends who are doctors, and I truly
Mhm.
admire that they do have a mission to help people. But they said, Inesa, I want to work for you, and I want to do things for you, and we have to save the world together. And I'm like, that's the whole problem. You've been so disconnected from the truth. Where let's say if somebody has a thyroid issue, first thing you do, you said don't take iodine. In my situation, I say you take iodine. So it's completely south and the north. It's
Mhm.
not even like close. And then another situation, you have neurological issues. First thing I would do, I'll go check you for mold. they don't even check you for mold. You have to be something and say mold is growing on my nose in order to put you in checking on mold. So I seen people in epilepsy, nobody's checking on parasites, and most diseases are linked to parasites. It's just, and the laboratory, it's just, so I love them. I admire doctors. Not all of them, because I truly believe some of them went there on a mission to change the world, and some of them are not. Some of them like the idea to make a lot of money. But I personally, if I make money, I want to make sure I feel good and I saved someone's life. If I don't feel good and I saved someone's life, I don't need anything from you.
As I'm reading what you're saying here, it seems to me that CBDA, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems to me CBDA isn't so much necessarily about trying to cure a disease or to overcome a condition. It's really about trying to improve the level of health. Am I wrong about that?
No, you're absolutely right. But the most beautiful thing is where people, when they start losing this production of cannabinoids in cannabinoid system, in their own cannabinoid system, they might fall in that category where they label that they have a disease. All what they're missing is few cannabinoids in the body to regulate them, and the disease goes away. So you see how people are trained to think on that specific thing. For example, it's just, or like brain situations, people say, oh, I have a memory issues. That means you have a gut issues. Now I have to fix my brain. No, it's not your brain, it's your gut. Because all the brain cells are produced in the gut. And because you're so smart, you get up in the morning and you actually drink coffee on an empty stomach, you kill those brain cells as the first thing in the morning with acidic, moldy coffee. So how you can even go? So just by quitting coffee and empowering that gut, you can actually start regulating your brain, or putting a few drops in belly button, of Nesas. So again, people are designed to think that's coming again from the medical field. So it helps to balance, but because you balance that, sometimes as disease, what they call disease, gets immediately off the list because you create a balance, and the body is now operating and helping to function.
Suddenly, I feel really good about the fact that I don't drink coffee.
Suddenly, I feel the opposite.
You feel the opposite. I love it. But once again, it all comes back to the mindset, doesn't it? The mindset is what drives this whole train. It's what drives not just one train, it's a series of trains, actually. Different trains going in different directions.
Yeah. I have another question, actually. So once you take this, you fuel your body, as you said, for, a period of time. I don't know how long that is. It probably depends on how many diseases somebody has, or how much, unbalanced, or how unbalanced they are in their body. But once they get back to like balance, or I think it's like homeostasis, whatever that word is, they're balanced. Can your body start producing those cannabinoids, whatever you call them? Cannabinoid. That thing. I can't say that word.
Very almost. Yeah, no, you're right. It's that's probably the most beautiful thing. I tell people all the time, especially if you're older, you definitely want to stick with 3 to 6 months, but then you fire up that system. So you kind of wake up the volcano in the body and say, hey, I need you. Can you please help me to function? So I seen people where they have very chronic illnesses. They couldn't, not going to mention, because again, I'm not a doctor, not diagnosing or treating anything here, but very chronic situations where they improved extremely fast. They stayed on the product additional couple more months. I checked on them again a couple of months ago, and it's been like 1.5 to 2 years. They're still rocking and rolling. They cut it off the product. So I'm not saying that you're going to be exact same thing, because maybe we need to fire up that volcano a little bit more in your body. Maybe somebody needs more, somebody less. That's the whole beauty. This is like a biological product. So there is no side effects. You can't get harm. Plus we test like no one other company in America. You can literally just Google our test results. Not single one company is willing to do our labs. So from 10,000 CBD brands, by the way, which is a good thing, because I literally tell people all the time, if you say something bad about us, just don't say anything. Just send your bottle to the lab in parts per billion from every microtoxin and send, and let's compare apples to apples. Today, I asked every company to do that, and not single one of them agreed to do that yet. So I'm still waiting until who is ready for the challenge. So it does help definitely for that moment, and it does stay. But again, each person's a little bit different. I live extremely high intense life. I am 19, 17, 18 hours a day, 7 days a week. So I'm on it, girl. Like, I'm on it. So I can't leave it out. I put even on my skin. I put even on my hair sometimes. My dog is on it. The whole family is on it. So I'm on it because I truly feel how much I need it. But I seen results where people, if they can afford it and they discontinue, they still feel great.
Very interesting. Jody Lynn, we're running out of time, but I sense there have been a bunch of questions here. You want to get one more in before we try to wrap things up here?
I just feel like my whole mind is blown. I didn't, I feel as though I should have known. I've seen a lot. I've been, like drawn to looking at food systems and food insecurities and the crap that's in our food, and even just learning. I just learned, I don't know, 6 months ago, even though I've been a farmer my whole life, that, they changed the wheat and genetically modified it so much so that there's almost no nutrients in it. But that's the only thing that grain elevators will take. So that's what the farmers have to grow. This stuff blows my mind. So everything you're saying today really, truly makes sense. And I'm excited to try it because I feel like my abracadabra system could always use some help.
Yeah, you're also welcome to use on your pineal gland, your third eye, your forehead. I've seen mothers using, again, we're not allowed to promote for babies, but keep in mind that baby's already producing it itself. And so mothers putting on their butts or from the diapers, or even on feet, in massage it. It's oh, my cousin had ear infection. She put one drop and the ear infection was gone. Skin situations, any kind of skins. Again, it's literally from everything. It's literally from everything. And as you said, the way it blows your mind, about all these toxins in the genetics, what's coming on the farming. Same here. We're fighting like it's no tomorrow. We're fighting, but like it's no tomorrow. I can't say that because it's recorded, but I have some wild ideas. I think how to break that system, because it doesn't resonate with me what's happening. We have more sick people more than ever, and people are not even aware of endocannabinoid system. And when I talked to my PR director who worked in the embassy the half of her life, and she says, Inesa, nobody wants to cover the topic. It's too much law, it's too many lawyers involved. You're gonna get busted, kicked out, and they're never gonna want to see you again. I'm like, and they're not gonna even allow you to come to that point where you're gonna have an interview. So you have to be very sneaky, but I don't want to be sneaky. I want to educate you on something that's essential. It's in your body, it should be in every medical school, and doctors should be promoting it to empower people.
Now that's an empowered speech right there. That's a passionate, driven speech. And I can tell you a couple of things, Inesa. First of all, don't worry too much about I know you'll continue to fight the battle, but don't worry too much about how uneven the battle is right now, because quite honestly, you've already won. You may not realize that. You may not have seen the results pouring in yet, but you've already won. You've set a new path, a global path in motion, and as more and more people find out about it, more and more people are going to find out about it. It's one of those things. It just becomes its own, perhaps slowly developing thing. It's not necessarily going to take off like some video does on YouTube, perhaps, but it's going to just keep going. It's going to develop its own momentum because it already has. So I wanted to let you know you've already achieved that. What you're doing going forward is just enhancing it, taking it to the next level, and then the next level, and then the next level. So anytime that you feel like you're fighting that uphill battle, just remind yourself you've already won.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. So thank you for that. Yeah, because sometimes what discourages me sometimes when I see pain and when I see so much people and so much struggling and so many people, I'm like, why? None of them are supposed to struggle. And we have solutions for all that stuff, not just Nesa's. I'm talking about just regulating things, just changing the water, like just simple things, just flushing your lymphatics system. You don't have to jump in the water in the freezing water. Like, you can do something else, like move the dry brush in the shower, anything. Just that itself changes the way you're gonna look at your day. And I'm like, why are these people struggling again? Oh, wait a minute, we have a money going on here. So that's, I think, just by seeing people's pain sometimes grabs my heart, because I've been in that pain, my mother been, and I'm like, and I don't want people to suffer, and I just really want people to feel good. So that's why, like, a portion of these funds, like NASA's money, literally goes to stop human trafficking. Be building something amazing and big. It's going to be so big where the world's not going to be telling me, hey, we can't cover this because it's federally illegal. It's going to be so big where they're not going to be able to even breathe. And I'm working on it. So it's going to happen soon, by the way, so soon, where my blood is shaking. So it's just the pain sometimes makes me feel this way, because I see other people struggling. But you're absolutely right, and I can't thank you enough to being so humble with me and just reminding me, because I do forget that I already won. You're right, and because I'm just so busy how to help more people.
Well, I can take it one more step, and Jody Lynn's going to recognize this one because this is a thing that I do every single episode with every guest coming onto the show. Because everybody who comes onto the show, like you're a giver. You're trying to give back to people. You're trying to give people humanity based on what you've learned through your own life, and you've discovered this really cool stuff, and you want other people to benefit from it. And in the process of doing that, we are all content creators these days. That's the way the internet works, right? We create content, a lot of it for free. It's being consumed by people we don't know, we've never met, we've never seen, we never will meet, we never will see, and we kind of forget that part. I like to remind us all that that's really important stuff. So on behalf of those people that you've never met and that you've never seen, that you've been sharing this content with and changing lives in ways that you'll never know about, I want to thank you on their behalf, because what you're doing really is making a difference in this world.
Thank you so much. That's beautiful. I really appreciate that. Like, it's just beautiful. Thank you so much. And I can't wait to make all my dreams. And I just want to say thank you for everyone who's listening. And at the same time, don't allow, as you guys mentioned, the mindset. So don't ever allow anyone to tell you you have no cure, you have no solutions, you have no money, you're different. No, you're amazing, you're powerful, you have every solution. Don't waste your time on negative, focus on positive. So thank you so much for actually allowing me to bring my voice and share the knowledge, and just God bless this episode and each of you being here today.
Thank you very much. We got to get one more piece of information, though, before you go. We'll include this in the show notes to make it easy for people to find. But how do people find this product, this amazing CBDA? How do they find this darn thing?
It's super easy. You just go on Nesa's Hemp, NESAS, Nesa's Hemp.com, and we have a beautiful customer service. The girl that actually works in the customer service, she really cares about each of you too. She prays, and she's, oh my gosh, all our people that work on Nesa's team care about the world so much, where no matter where you're going to go on our team, they say, we care about you. So yeah, so nesashemp.com, and you can find our customer service if you have questions. And also, if you want to purchase the product, make sure you use it twice a day. And keep in mind, product works 100%. If for some reason you think is not working, just to play a little bit with that dose, adjust a little bit higher or maybe even lower in some cases. So because you might need a little bit different dosage than is directed on the bottle, because your endocannabinoid system might need certain different amount to trigger the system and fire up the volcano in your body. So nesashemp.com, easy.
All right. We'll make sure we include that in the show notes. Jody Lynn, has your mind come back together yet? I mean, is it still exploded into 1,000 pieces? I'm just kind of curious.
Still exploded into 1,000 pieces, but my heart is filled with gratitude for everything that you're doing and the light that you're bringing to the world. So thank you, Inesa.
I just felt your gratitude, so thank you. I literally felt your gratitude. It grabbed my heart, and I have a tear in my eye, so thank you.
You're welcome.
There we go. All right. So thank you very much, Inesa. Thank you, Jody Lynn. Thank you to our podcast listeners everywhere. We'll see you all next time here on LOA Today. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.